What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Make It Kustom. We're building the massive deck for this ramp truck COE that we're doing. This thing is just a gnarly project. It's gonna lay right on the floor. It's got massive airbags all the way around, custom suspension. Like, check out the whole build series if you're interested in, and you're new to the channel. And if you are new, welcome. What we are working on in this video is the deck. In the last video, we went and got all the material. We kind of planned the deck out. We designed it. We figured out how it's going to mount to the frame. Now it's fabrication time. What's up, Roscoe? Hey, coming in to say hi? Yeah. He's a little sore, and yes, we take him to the vet and give him all the arthritis medications and stuff for pain and stuff. He's a good, happy guy. He's just getting old. Yeah, I think what Ellie, oh, yes, bud? As soon as I stopped paying attention to you. What Ellio's gonna do for me first, okay, hold on. Roscoe got excited. We had to kind of tire him out a little bit, but we're back. So what we're gonna do is just build this deck today. That's it. So don't forget to like, click subscribe, hit notifications, check us out on Patreon, all that good stuff. And thanks a lot for watching. Let's get into it. All right, so first things first, we're gonna square this thing off to the table. The table is mostly pretty flat. We'll make sure that our widths are perfect, parallel, and square. And our most important thing is just making sure everything is dead square and lining up the first header perfectly. We'll obviously check all the way down, but something that's beautiful with the CNC machine and having Elio here is that while I'm messing around with this, he's actually gonna make me a little tool that will have the perfect spacing for like 3 of the cross members in it so that we can use those as tools all the way back while we're lining this up, and we know that it's gonna be dead even and parallel across 11 cross members. So Ellio's gonna work on that. I'm gonna start squaring this up. We're gonna make a deck. Got the deck situated, got the the cross members thrown on there, stoked with how it's looking. What we're thinking here is that I think from this cross member, we're gonna lay that flat and have that go with this body line. And right now this is 16 feet, so it's a little bit shorter actually than what we were thinking of doing, because when it was a little bit further back, it just looked way too long for one, and for two, it had like so much tail swing that, I don't know. I think it's gonna be totally fine at this length, a little bit shorter. Maybe I won't be hauling so many, extended cab, quad cab, super cab, long box, dually, massive trucks or anything, but this thing's mostly gonna see hot rods and pickup trucks. So I think we're gonna do like a 2-foot drop there, but mostly what we're doing here, I'm getting off track. Mostly what I'm doing here is just getting this figured out, this top area, so that I can build the back of the frame. What I wanna do right now is start thinking about the back of the chassis. So I've got some 2x6 tubing, and I just picked it up at Metal Supermarket, and I'm gonna fish plate these into the top of this C-notch, or whatever you wanna call that, the kick in the frame, and build that out to the back and get some sort of hitch figured out. That's my main concern. I really want to finish this frame so that we can paint the frame. That's what's next. I'm going to design the back of this frame, these plates that are going to connect my 2x6 to these rails. That, I guess, is what I'm going to do next, and then figure out the hitch at the back. Okay, let's do it. Used a plumb bob here. Plumb bobs are pretty handy because they use gravity, and gravity's, always right. Everything's level on this thing, and I just marked center on this, center on the chassis, and I've got the plumb bob nice and straight with that. That's how I'm centering this. I'm just gonna tack in a couple of the pillars here. Like, I need to locate this deck nice and square because it's gonna help me actually fasten the back of the frame on and keep all that square. Like, if this entire thing's dead straight, I can actually probably clamp my flanges and like what will attach the deck to the frame. I'll be able to kind of mount all that at the same time as I build these frame rails out, if all this is kind of dead nailed. I love that little saw. Little shout out to KBC Tools. Thank you very much for helping out with the ramp truck. Love that saw. If you can afford it, it is an amazing tool that keeps the torque. That's what's kind of neat about it, is no matter what speed you set it at, you can set it easily, like just push a couple buttons and you have speed set adjustability. I've never had that before other than changing belts. But yeah, it's just keeps the blade nice and sharp by being able to adjust your speed, and handy little saw, super quiet and constant torque. Got these pillars done, or whatever we're gonna call those. That's gonna hold onto the deck exactly where it's at. I'm happy with the spacing. It's the same both sides here. That's kind of what I judged it on for that, just because it's kind of tight clearance. This is gonna be where the straight starts. I'm leaving 1/2 inch so that I can put a 2x3 tube on top, and then we're gonna use like thick checker plate aluminum that'll be inset inside that a little bit. That's why I've got like about a 1/2 inch from the top of that body line to where this is. So that's what it's lined up for. I think the back panel is gonna be like a couple feet deep, big fat one. Like I said, I'm gonna just keep working on the back of the chassis now, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna figure out how to adapt these 2x6 rails to that 2.5 inch by 10 rear chassis. So what I'm gonna first do, I think, is actually just make some L brackets that accept 1/2 inch bolts, maybe 4 bolts out of 2 brackets and 4 bolts out of 2 brackets, like in 2 places along the frame. Then I might bolt it again in here somewhere. For now, I'm just gonna make some simple L brackets on the fast cut CNC, and then basically center these rails directly underneath where those are, and then I'll end up having to make like a little 4-sided joggle adapter, if that makes any sense, because this rail isn't directly underneath that, nor is it the same width. So I'm just gonna put our new rails directly underneath it with nice symmetrical brackets all the way down that are mounting the deck to the chassis, and then just make whatever weird adapter to get that size frame rail adapted to the 2x6 3/16 wall tube that I'm gonna run at the back. I'm also gonna probably have enough to make a cross member come across, or some material come straight down, so that I can tie the chassis directly into a trailer hitch. You know how we make these? This is hitch tube, so I have some of it around, and I can actually use that to make a custom little trailer hitch that is directly tied into the strongest part, like the chassis, right? Gonna jump on the computer and just draft up some simple L brackets, and then get those pieces mounted underneath that deck. where are we at with all this right now? As per my usual self, I cut twice as many mounting plates and mounting points that I definitely should have. I don't know what I was thinking. I was gonna have one of these on each side in 3 different places, making it, how many bolts is that? 4 bolts, 4 bolts, 4 bolts, 4 bolts, 24 bolts is what I was thinking. I'm such an idiot. That's an entire half sheet of 1/4 inch plate that you're using just to make some L brackets that could have been like tiny pieces of angle iron. Like, what are you doing? What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use half of them. So just run some brackets like here, here, and same thing over there. Some of the brackets are smaller, and that, see, these are a little bit smaller. 2 reasons. One of those is the offset between 2-inch and 3-inch material. The other is the offset between the chassis and our deck rail. So we've got about a 1/2 inch there as well. So the shorter one will be on the bottom, going like that. And then the slightly longer one will be on the top to meet up with the bottom one. And then once we level this off to straight, we'll put another stanchion there. So that's what's gonna be holding the deck to the chassis. Right now, I've got these little kick-ups. These are on an angle. We've been using that bandsaw we got from KBC Tools. Thank you, KBC Tools. I love that thing. It goes so slow. Because it can go so slow, the blade doesn't heat up at all, and it just hogs through whatever. So this is the back of the frame, so that will come down a little bit here, and then we'll put a bar across the back, which is what I just cut. That will go sideways at the bottom, and then that's what I'm gonna mount this little piece of hitch tube to. So I'm gonna get this mostly laid out and all tacked together, parallel and square on the table here. And then once that is tacked, I will clamp it up underneath this and position it, and then we'll use the other shorter mounts, like I was saying, and then we'll call it a win. we are finished with all the sparks for the moment. Now I pretty much am ready to bolt on the other plates. I'll bolt them on and adjust them so that they have the exact same width as what we're attaching to on there, which is 33 inches. And then we will bring this thing around, and we might use that lift cart and a jack or something and hold this up in place and attach it to the deck itself. Once it's attached to the deck, we still have a missing link, and that will be the plates that connect the main frame to our 2x6. They will jog over a little bit, like I was saying. It's gonna be kind of like a funky shape. We'll template it, we'll cut it out, and we'll weld it on to adapt the 2x6 to the main frame right now. We are welded up. That worked out awesome, actually. I'm really stoked on that. That rail is supported the entire way. It's gonna get a bunch of mounts. You know, it's got these two right now, but we're gonna get another one up on that kick up. But right now, I think my next kind of venture here is gonna be making the pieces for this. So I'm just gonna design some files that are just very simple. Like obviously, if you don't have, you know, a CNC machine, this is like still a relatively easy piece that you can make. Probably drill a couple of holes in them, or cut a couple of holes that I can weld the inside of the bracket as well. So it's gonna overlap, kind of go on a bit of an angle and then overlap this. And then I'm gonna create like a four-sided piece. Once that's done, then the back end of the frame is solid. We've got, you know, the chassis kind of done so that I can, you know, we're gonna have a bit of a shop thrash this weekend. A couple people are gonna come out and help me. Basically what the goal is this weekend is to blow everything apart, sand everything, paint everything, let it dry overnight, put everything back together. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this coming weekend. That's the plan, that's the goal. That's a big thing that would really jump this thing along, because it's like pretty close right now, but it really needs to be painted, like all this bare steel. Also, what else we're gonna do is build the gas tank, hopefully before that happens, because there's fabrication to the frame and everything, right? We need to finish fabrication, so that's why, like, build the deck so that we can build the back of the chassis, so we can put in the gas tank so that we can, there's another thing, have to do the transmission cross member, put on the e-brake, tons of stuff to do, and I just want to get all that fab done before we paint it this weekend. So let's take it one small bite at a time. Let's get these frame adapters done. So this is a new day. Elio's back. He's gonna be messing around the transmission with the drum brake, and Elio's gonna unbolt this, bolt that onto the 4L80E that's in here. Our tailstock is gonna get unbolted. What I'm gonna do, now that these pieces are welded on, I'm going to add the last of the mounts for back here. I'm gonna finish those two mounts off now, and then we're gonna call this a done video and keep on going. Elio's just draining the transmission right now. A lot of fluid in that one. It's got a big old pan on it. Woo! Here's the brake setup. So this bolts on, this bolts onto the tailstock, or sorry, to the output shaft. Output shaft stays with the transmission. Then it's got this brake unit. Opening it up, it looks like really good condition. Like, look at all this new hardware kit. Looks like it's new inside. You know, for how rusty this drum was. Everything looks just beautiful. Might have to make our drive shaft shorter. Thankfully, the guy that gave us the brake is also our drive shaft guy. Shout out to Harley Hamilton. Thank you, buddy. That's what he's working on. I got those mounts done. Look at this thing. This thing's jacked up right now. Look at all the air. Look at this. Look at this massive frame section. I think for the rest of the week here, our plan is to try and get this transmission thing sorted out. We're gonna build a fuel tank. We're gonna repair some fenders for a friend of ours, Andrew, little tradesies. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you to our sponsors, KBC Tools and Fast Cut CNC. Really appreciate the support. Definitely go check those guys out. Fast Cut CNC, like if you're in the market for one of those machines, like the technical support, the quality of the machine, just all that stuff is just, it's bar none. And you're just printing parts that saves you so much time. If you're a hot rod shop and you don't have one, I suggest you get one. It solves so many issues, allows you to be so much faster. KBC Tools, they've got a Make It Kustom discount code, Make It Kustom, all one word, all capital letters. You do have to register for their site. Don't forget, you have to register for the site to use the discount code, but you get 10% off of their stuff. And they're just awesome. They're North America wide, has all the tools that you need. All, like, if you need a left-handed 3/8 tap on a Saturday, they'll have it. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, throw a comment in there. Both those things really helps the channel, really helps the reach of everything. We're also on Patreon, so I throw little pictures up there, sneak peeks of like what's happening in the shop during the week and what we're working on. We also put all the ad-free content on there as well. And there are different levels. Like if you need help with your project, there's some access that you can do there. There's also free DXF files. So if you want to build the machines that we're building, build bomber seats, build bead rollers, build whatever, you get access to all the DXF files. And generally it's just another way to support the channel that hopefully you're enjoying. So japhandskustoms.com, merch, hats, this and that's. We'll catch you on the next one, everybody. Thanks a lot. See ya.